Hey everybody, welcome back to Two Guys Talking Houses. We got some great topics for you today. We're going to start off with some MLS news and what the National Association of Realtors has done to basically open up the gates to allow the public to see some of the stuff that only we could see as realtors before. We're going to talk a little bit of government shutdown, as well as the federal funds rate and the likelihood that we see a cut. The numbers are moving. Mark's got some interesting insight. So let's get into it, Mark.
Yeah, so NAR came out, National Association of Realtors came out and said, hey, you know what? We're no longer going to say that non-realtors can have access to MLS data, multiple listing service data. So that would mean that, I could see everything you can see as a real estate agent.
Yeah.
So why do I need you?
Well, I mean, it's a fair question. A lot of people will ask it. And to be quite honest, and some realtors will push back on me with this, not all realtors are worth having. That's just let's let the cat out of the bag there. And it's funny because I have almost 30 agents, give or take, underneath me with the brokerage. And one of them came to me one time and said, I had a seller or a buyer that saw the settlement sheet at the title company on closing day. And I think they were making like $10,000 or $12,000. And they said, that's how much money you made for the amount of work you put in. And they were like, this agent was like quite offended by it. And my response was, well, was the statement true? And he didn't really like my response, but I was like, the reality is, like, every time I take on a client, my goal is to give them the absolute best service I can possibly give them. I need to advise them. I need to preemptively see issues that are going to come up. And in every transaction, whether you have the buyer or the seller, there are unique issues that are going to come up that you're going to have to navigate. And then, as well as on top of that, strategizing for, if you're listing the home, how do you price it? What do we look at? The comps, we look at the market competition, we look at the market absorption rate. We come to a decision together as to what the best go-to-market strategy is going to be. With a buyer, we look at things like, okay, we're getting someone such as yourself, we're going to get you with Mark, and we're going to talk about how much down payment would offset our debt to income. Where do we need to be in order to get this file closed? Do we need to negotiate harder on repairs, or would it be better to ask for seller credits based on your financial situation and where you are in life? So, in my opinion, a good realtor is like any good service provider. You're going to give great customer service. You're going to be worth the money to your client. And you're also, by the way, going to be able to, on the buy side, prove your worth and negotiate your commission to be paid by the seller. The sell side is obviously the seller has to compensate you. But one quick statistic I want to talk about on the sell side of things, sellers that worked with a real estate agent saw a 17% higher net when they sold their home. This was a study done about a year ago. So what does that mean?
So they got 17% more for their house.
Right. So you're paying me 3%, but I get you. And I'm not saying it's a case-by-case basis. Every home is different. But when you look at the averages, sellers that worked with an agent versus sellers that took some pictures of their own, kind of guessed the pricing on their own. Maybe they looked at Zillow and saw the Zestimate and just listed it for something higher than the Zestimate. All of that, like they dealt with all their own showings. The clients were incoming to them. Those sellers, on average, sold at 17% less than somebody who worked with an agent.
I mean, come on, Stephen. I've got an iPhone 17. It's got a great camera. I mean, shouldn't I at least try to sell it myself and save what I'm going to pay an agent? Which, by the way, what is that?
I think you should. And I'm going to list the house across the street from you, and then you're gonna call me crying when we get that one under contract. But
Right.
Joking aside, I think it's very important to interview a good agent. When you interview a couple good agents, I always tell everybody, I never get offended when somebody says, hey, I'm interviewing a couple of agents. I always try to make myself last if I can. I'll go at any position, but if I can make myself last, I let them interview other agents, and then I come in and I talk about my unique strategy. And I have show is not about me talking about myself, but I have a pretty high rate of closing as far as getting the listing is concerned. And it's because I present to them something, and yes, I'm charging you. I'm going to be very upfront about how much I'm going to take out of this situation, but I'm going to lay out to you what I think I bring to the table. And no one's forcing you to sign anything. You could decide after that meeting that, hey, I want to list for sale by owner. And you're perfectly within your right to do that. I never get offended. I never get upset with people for asking that question. And I never get upset for people who decide to go the FSBO route. I just think that in today's day and age, yes, you can see all the houses that I can see on Zillow. I can see more information on the MLS than you can see as of right now. If that's changing, you can see all the information I can see. Fine. If I'm a radiologist and I'm going to share, all of a sudden now you can see everything on the back end of the portal and you can see your thoracic, CT scan that we did. Does that mean that you can analyze that data the same way that I can as your doctor?
Well, sure, but I mean, is a real estate agent like a doctor? Are they a rocket scientist? I mean, come on, it's not that hard. You stick a sign in the yard, you open some doors, and there you go, right?
Well, I mean, some people think that. I mean, you could.
Right.
I mean, let's stick with the radiologist example for a minute. You know, couldn't Chat GPT read a CT scan better than a radiologist could? I mean, I think at the end of the day, the people who give good like white glove customer service are. I mean, I think we're all done. I mean, there'll probably be AI versions of me and you sitting in these chairs
Sure.
10, 15 years from now, but I
Much
think
better looking avatars,
much
I'm
better
sure.
looking. Yeah, shave a few pounds off me and get rid of some of the grays. But the reality is, like, I think good service providers are going to be kind of the last ones to go. And so I think there is still real value in that. And some people don't agree, and that's fine. They're gonna always do that. But
Right.
I always go back to the data. If I'm charging you 3% to sell your house, but on average I can get you 17% more, then you're 14% ahead at the end of the day. And I can demonstrate that in my numbers. I never ask anybody to take my word for it.
And I'll jump in here, and a couple of things that stand out to me. Number one, we all went through this big commission lawsuit for realtors, and the idea is that like the artificial standard was 3%, and everybody had to pay 3% to sell their house, right?
Right.
And so now they've had you have new disclosures, much like the loan officers did back in 2012. And like, oh my gosh, we're not going to make any money now. Like, this could be horrible. And, we had an average of about, I think it was 2.72% was the average commission.
Yeah.
Not quite 3, but certainly not 2 or
Yeah.
1 for an agent. And so then it was, 2.72 for the buyer's agent, 2.2 for the seller's agent, or 2.72 for the seller's agent. And now, after we've been in this after the lawsuit, we've had the settlement for a year now,
Yeah.
or a little over a year now, and those buyers and sellers have shrewdly negotiated that average commission to 2.78%.
Right.
In
right.
other words, higher, because they've seen, there was a period where they tried it on their own and then they saw the value.
Yeah.
And the value really is in things like avoiding a lawsuit. Like,
Yeah.
you do something wrong, you screw something up, because you're using, in Texas, you're using the Texas Real Estate Commission paperwork.
Yeah.
Because, it used to be you just write it on a piece of paper, right? But then people got sued. Like, that was a problem because it didn't have all the right language in it. And you have studied, for hours and you have to get continuing education,
Yeah.
updates, legal 1 and 2, all of those things that you have to take to be prepared to represent that buyer or seller and help them avoid all kinds of things like that, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think that's where the true value of a good agent comes in. I mean, you're like, I can't get into the specifics because it's an active listing that I have, but there's one where I'm dealing with mold and I'm dealing with, a problem pool and a problem roof and who's paying for what, how that's going to work out as far as seller concessions, what the maximum amount is there and how you handle the balance of the remaining things that need to be done to the house, all while maintaining the integrity of representing your client in the best light. I mean, these people are paying me 3% and they're doing it very happily,
Yeah.
and so that's something that is not lost on a lot of people. The smart sellers are still saying, the best way. It's so funny. I drove to the Seabrook Library this morning because my wife, wanted to take our toddler there for some story time. And so I was like, I've got a light morning. I'll take you there. And so as I drive to the library, there's this house that's for sale by owner that literally the last time I went to the library was like a year and a half ago. That same house had that same for sale by owner sign in the driveway. And I just thought to myself, like, I average between 30 and 40 houses a year. Like, how many homes have I moved since that guy put that for sale by owner sign in his yard and he's not selling it? He's clearly off on the price. He's clearly off on, getting exposure. And like, there's so many things that he could be doing. Like, what's his holding cost? What is what, like, let's forget about like numbers for a minute. Like, what's his life story? Like, where does he, is he trying to get somewhere to closer to kids, closer to a sick family member, and he can't because he's trying to save 3% on the sale of his house, and so he's trying to list it by owner. Like, there's,
I think we
yeah,
struck a nerve here in Stephen
yeah,
that, we questioned why do we need Stephen? And I think we struck a nerve based just on the volume of words used to respond.
yeah,
In all seriousness, though, I mean, yeah, I think I'm on house number 7 or 8. I'd have to go back and count. And every single time I've used a real estate agent.
yeah,
Now, part of it, I'm a mortgage guy. If I'm a mortgage guy and I don't use a real estate agent, like I might as well just quit my job today, right?
exactly, yeah,
And then picking the real estate agent, no, that is always my wife's job. Even if I'm single, I'll come up with a wife and make it her job because I don't want to be me that picked the,
right,
and because I definitely feel it's worth it to have an agent represent me who knows, a whole lot more about real estate than I do.
yeah,
And even this, I'm in the industry, right? And so, I definitely don't think they're useless. And, speaking of that, many people joke that government workers are useless, and that couldn't be really farther from
yeah.
the truth. I'm sure
Have you
there's
been
people.
to the DMV lately? Yeah.
In fact, yes. That is, I did actually have to go to the DMV to get a new picture taken every 10 years or something. And so I had to go do that. But in reality, yeah, there's probably some people that are just kind of kicking back, collecting a check. Sure.
Yeah.
But when the whole government shuts down, like things go a little crazy.
Yeah.
And we had the longest government shutdown we've ever had. And the last time we talked about this, and we talked about, oh, is it going to open? Is it going to not? We were fairly certain that it was going to happen.
Yeah.
But watching that vote was, I mean, I was kind of on the edge of my seat, I got to say. Like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, it's tied. Oh my gosh, it's not going to pass. Oh my, what in the heck? What? Why did 5 Democrats or whatever it was, vote yes? Why did 2 Republicans or however many it was vote no? Like, what are these all no votes? I saw the no vote number. I'm like, those schmucks didn't even show up. And then I realized, no. That's the people who haven't voted yet.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. Okay, that's what that means. Now we're open.
Yeah.
So you would think like champagne falls from the heavens. It's all great. Everything's gravy, right? Not necessarily. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things in question.
Yeah.
We talked about last time the jobs report, the data that comes out, and
Yep.
So have you seen a difference since the shutdown has ended in your business at all?
I'm having a very weird end of the year because I'm busier right now than I've been all year, which is just not usual. So I think I'm kind of like a weird exception. I'm very grateful for the business, don't get me wrong, but it's like usually this time of the year is a little bit slower than other times. And for whatever reason, I've got a lot of people that are under contract right now, which a lot of people are just wanting to brave the moving during the holidays, I guess. I've got a brave bunch at the moment, but I am seeing as a whole things start to kind of slow down a little bit for our team.
Okay.
But I mean, I also we're blessed and lucky enough to be kind of busy all year round, just because of we're established in the area. But what are you? Because I deal with my team and my clients. You deal with agents all around the city. Like, what are they saying? What are the other agents, like the solo agents and the other agents, saying?
It's interesting. We're hearing kind of a mixture.
Yeah.
We're blessed in our group. We really are. We're thankful and grateful for what we have. We have a good reputation in the area. So, whereas if we compare ourselves to our peers, we're ahead.
Yeah.
And if we compare ourselves, even to last month, like our December looks better than our November, which is a little unusual.
Yeah.
But and right now what's going on is everybody's trying to close before Thanksgiving. Like, you don't want to schedule a closing for next week.
No.
It's next week is the week of Thanksgiving. And so God help you if you close it on if you schedule it on Friday, because are they open?
Yeah, the title companies aren't going to be open. Yeah.
But we are starting to see some optimism from buyers. We're starting to see. I mean, there was a whole segment of the population that they didn't know if they're going to be paid next week.
Yeah.
All the way from air traffic controllers who make good, pretty good money, down to, I mean, just, the common government worker.
Yeah.
And like what are and the people collecting the jobs report data.
Yep.
And so those people didn't work the whole month of October, which means what are we not going to get?
The jobs reporting from October.
Right. We'll never know. So we're going to get a jobs report Thursday of this week. So we're recording this on Tuesday, a day late. Normally we do it on Mondays. But hey, we're recording on Tuesday. We're supposed to get a jobs report on Thursday morning. And they think unemployment's probably going to be the same.
Yeah.
They think, maybe we produced, a little more jobs than we did last time, but it's data that's from September.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a month and a half old, really.
Yeah.
So it's not that it's useless. It's great that we're getting that again.
It's not as current and relevant as it should be.
But it's going to take a little while for all this to roll out, all of this to, and then there was a question whether we were going to get a jobs report.
Yeah.
And so if we look at, hey, what does this all matter, right? We're trying to predict what's the Fed going to do.
Yeah, because that's exactly kind of the final topic, of our discussion today. And the shutdown being over is a great thing, but like you said, everybody kind of anticipated that things would just snap right back, and it's not so easy. Like that, everybody's got to get back to work, everybody's got to pick up where they left off, and there's going to be some lag time. So tell me the numbers for the likelihood of a rate cut. I mean, that's kind of what everybody wants to know. We started this thing at like 99% chance of a rate cut in December, and now we're like, what, 50-50? It's like a coin toss now.
I don't know if it was 99 ever for December, but I know it was in the high 80s.
Yeah.
At one time. Like, we're cruising down this road, and then Powell opened his mouth. Not that that's always a bad thing, but it can be.
Yeah.
And we gained some insight the other day. We had the actual minutes from the Fed meeting. When those come out, that helps too, because you have some insight into what was actually said. And so, now today we're at 50-50. Yesterday, it was more like 45, something like that % chance we would get one.
So we're going back in the right direction.
And so, now we're going back in the right direction, and that's because we knew we were going to get a job report.
Yeah.
Like now, yes, we are absolutely doing it. It's on the calendar. Like, we've got enough data from September once again to put out something, but at least it's getting back to normal, as they would say.
So what are you seeing rate-wise right now? Are you seeing interest? Are you locking deals higher, lower? Is it kind of the same?
We've seen an uptick since, certainly since the Federal Reserve announcement, the last one.
Yeah.
Which is not unexpected, because, at one time we were like, hey, we're smooth sailing. We're going to get another, we're going to have a quarter in October. We're going to get a quarter in December, and everybody's going to have a great new year. Yeah. Right? Like, that's what the thought was. Well, then that kind of changed, like, are we getting that? Are we not? Now we're not even sure. And we've had, maybe it's just because we don't have any other economic data that I noticed this, but it seems like every single day we have a Fed president speaking about something.
Yeah.
And so all these guys are out there, talking it up, and I don't know, maybe they're campaigning for Powell's job, right? I'm kidding. That's not what's going on. But point is that, like, we're hearing more from them. And if you think about it, 2025 has kind of been the year of people watching the Fed.
Yeah.
Like, they've watched nobody really paid attention, until probably 22, right? When rates, rates went up. That's the Federal Reserve rate and the mortgage rate, for that matter.
Yeah.
And then, they kind of, whatever for a while. And now, that's probably the most common question that I get now.
Yeah.
What's going on with the federal funds rate? Like, nobody cared. Like, people in the grocery store line, like, really? But it's become a huge barometer for us. It's become a huge metric.
Yeah.
And I think we do believe that 2026 is going to be better. It's going to bring, lower rates down the road. But with lower rates comes what?
Well, it comes generally higher priced homes.
Right. More sales, more competition. We're already starting to see a little bit of, multiple offers.
Yeah.
And
would you believe I lost?
I
lost we put in a best and final offer that was over asking, and we lost the deal.
That's
happened
not happening
6
often.
weeks ago.
Yeah.
It's not often. This was
right.
These folks knew
But
what they
happened.
were doing. They listed way below market value. They wanted to create a frenzy right out of the gate. But that in fact did happen. Our offer was over asking price, and we lost the home.
That's incredible.
Found them a better home and a better deal. So
Well, good.
it's all good.
Of course you did. So, and they got their money's worth out of their agent. So that's a good thing.
And they didn't pay me. I was compensated by the builder that I brought them to.
Very nice.
And I got them $10,000 off. I got them a great interest rate, and I got them to throw in some closing costs.
But they wouldn't have gotten had they not used their real estate agent.
And I think that rounds out the conversation.